Lieutenant Dubois, this is Coalition Warship Archer. We are acknowledging and accepting you.
Holy Holy I got a hold of Coalition Warship Archer!
Ah! Excellent! You are connected. Now be quick. I don't know how long I'll be able to preserve the signal.
Right, welcome back. We have some decisions to make. I want to go with a ladder. I don't know why that is. I think it's because it always stood out to me as something that we could potentially go up. But what's the deal with the... Why is one orange and one green again? I don't know.
An old pipe peeks out from beneath the rotten boards of the boardwalk. Could this be an alternative path into the felled building? A building like this must have multiple doors serving various functions. Perhaps a basement access.
Come closer and look in.
Your eyes slowly begin to adjust to the darkness inside the drainage pipe. The lieutenant looks over your shoulder.
What's in there? This looks like a great place to stash narcotics. I want to make sure there's nothing hidden in there that children might pick up. Well, that's... yeah, fair enough. Could we get into the felled building through this pipe? Let's make sure that no kids pick up druggers.
I see. Another stop on your crusade against narcomania. I was hoping we were in pursuit of a murder suspect.
Alright, sorry Kim. What's in there?
The pipe is sleek with rain.
Okay, what else?
As your eyes adjust, you see some trash. Crumpled up newspapers, cigarette butts. Someone has half-heartedly spray-painted skulls on the right side.
And
nothing. Broken glass from bottles thrown against the walls of the pipe. A syringe.
Yeah, this isn't a good idea. Could we get into the felled building through the pipe? Syringes? No.
Given that this isn't a martial arts thriller, it's highly unlikely, and not without risk to our health either. However, the pipe suggests there may be an entrance to the basement around.
Lieutenant pushes aside the reeds and looks around.
He means the pipe must be coming from somewhere in the building.
And it's right here. A maintenance door.
Oh. He points to the rusted metal double door to the right of the pipe, obscured by the reeds.
It's jammed shut. The subtle approach isn't going to work on this one.
Physical instrument. One more door. Broke into the communist apartment. Okay, well, that looks like it's out. I mean, I can boost it by 2 if I need to. Let me see how much easier it might be for the ladder.
A rusty ladder leads to the rooftop. Some of the rungs are missing.
Yeah, that doesn't look good at all.
Assess the situation.
The distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. You'd have to use the mounting brackets. However, they seem corroded and the peeling rust is razor sharp.
Oh, shit.
In addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's what, 3 meters above the ground? And you're 180?
180 seems about right.
Not to mention that the roof is collapsing and the wind gets pretty brutal up there. Dismounting from the ladder is going to be hard. Perhaps if you were to not climb the ladder. Instead, what if you were to do something more subtle?
I'm all ears, savoir-faire.
What if you were to reconceptualize climbing the ladder?
What if I don't climb? What if I just teleport?
Teleportation is not a thing.
Lieutenant stares at you, stone-faced. Come on, Kim, where's your adventurous spirit? Just needs a bit of concentration. It won't hurt to try.
Oh yes, it could hurt. A lot.
Oh! So Tiago climbing. Oh, Tiago, that's the chappie in the church. Okay, savoir-faire. I think I can boost that considerably. Hang on. Okay, we should be absolutely banging for savoir-faire now.
The rusty ladder leads to the rooftop. All you need to do is close your eyes and concentrate. Darkness enfolds you. You can feel the distance between the bench and the first rung of the ladder. All you need to is...
Do it!
Zoot, zap, pow, crinkle. It's like magic. You feel yourself disappear. your atoms fading out of existence.
Oh shit, wait a minute. We're not trying to teleport, are we? I thought we were just going to jump for the rung on the ladder.
Oh my god, I can't believe it.
Bam! You find yourself on the roof, having mastered the art of physical displacement.
What the fuck? I did it, can my teleport? Don't gloat, just stand there like a Samaran master. I did it, can my teleport? Don't gloat, just stand there.
You know, for the record, you didn't teleport there. You just climbed the ladder with your eyes closed.
Oh, you know. Oh my god, seriously, Harry.
The wind at the top of the building starts howling loudly, blowing away the lieutenant's voice. Faintly you hear.
Never mind. Find a way to let me in when you get inside. Don't go adventuring with a backup, especially if we think the suspect may be hiding here.
Yep, that's true. Well, I've got my gun and a sword now. So, I'm good. Boosh. The central support beam has been destroyed by artillery fire. Oh, Ruby. Ruby, 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 Ruby. Ah, ah. Now what you do it to me? The glass is covered with grey and dust. You can barely see out. Is there literally nothing else in here? Oh Christ. How the hell am I going to be able to let Kim in? Should I... yeah, I think I should have... Oh, I look like a dimwit. Oh my god. Okay, hang on. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. Let's just get the frickin' fallen pants off. I like these. I like these ones. I like the shoes, gloves. I couldn't give a monkeys about the gloves at the moment, I guess. Why is the horrific necktie... What the... Well, that was a very, very weird glitch. That was... What on earth is going on? Okay, anyway, that was weird. Right. Ah, shit. Right. The collapse nearly sealed the basement. One can barely squeeze by. Antiquated furniture, office furniture rather, last century maybe. The Silverton table is covered in orange mildew, crawling with something. Old files, folders, and the current documents silvery with mold. Correct, this building is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Ooh! One suggestion. Nice! Is there a... Is that the... No, that's not a door, is it? In the beam of the flashlight, a crevice in the wall. Oh, I knew it was handy to put the torch on. Revolutionary's hat. 1 to... Massovian socioeconomics. What the frickin' Nora? Stale fabric, smell and dust. No one slept here in months, maybe years. Well, I hope so. Pots and plates are full of dust and spider webs. Revolutionary propaganda on the bunk bed. What else would you expect to find on a bunk bed, I wonder? Seems that the window you saw from outside...
Could this have been the killer's hideout? And this narrow window, the point of origin of the shot that killed the mercenary?
Ooh.
This does look like an embrasure, a slit made for shooting out of.
Peek out.
Outside the window, another day. The beach sand soaks up the drizzling rain, growing darker and darker.
Would this have been a good hideout for a sniper?
It's a good place to hide, but doesn't look like anyone has stayed here in a while.
Is it feasible to hit a target in the whirling rads from this window?
No, it's not. No matter how you crane your neck, you can't see the whole of the whirling in rags. And certainly not the relevant segment of the top floor.
Okay.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man, amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. A plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spider web in the lower left corner of the portrait.
Brush the dust off the portrait.
Years' worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample moustache and sideburns, look a bit silly.
I have to say, it did look like me when I had the mutton chops. Ooh, there's Kim.
Two rusty metal plates that slide apart form a crude door. It's been here under the boardwalk for a while.
Who's there?
What do you mean, who's there? It's me, Kim. Stop playing around and help me get the door open.
Oh boy, ignore the door and leave. Push the doors open.
The doors seem to be on rails, but they've gotten jammed. You grab a side and put some strength into prying it open. With the help of your partner, the two metal panels slide open with a creak.
Interesting.
I hope no one dangerous heard that.
You ready?
Yes. Time to investigate these passages. Let's move quietly and not make more sound.
Ooh.
Not running is a great way to do that.
Okay, I shall not run in that case. Should I equip my gun? Footprints in the sand, one of the souls appears more worn than the other. Anything indicating that it was somebody who was... Oh! There's something in the air. An unnatural buzzing. Yeah, did the footprint indicate that it was somebody in the Whirling and Rags secret passages, maybe? Tunnel collapse, you have to find another way round. Oh, stuff's happening. Wait, how the hell did Ruby get in here? It's getting louder, the buzzing sound. Oh.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost smell.
Lieutenant, do you feel something?
No. What do you mean?
Pain, a strange tingling.
I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there, and I'm pretty sure they were fresh.
I saw them too, footprints with the right sole worn smooth.
Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully.
What do you mean?
Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
Oh shit, Kim, you're creeping me out a bit now, actually. That's a really good point.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinaise. The deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize. This part of town is a fine clockwork puzzle. Disturb its peace and it will start breaking down uncontrollably. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
Okay, we found out Everart's plan to take the harbour. Maybe we should tell Joyce about it.
I leave that to your judgment. You already know what I think about cross-pollinating information like this. It's dangerous, but...
He just can't be sure. Maybe it will yield something useful.
I don't know. That worries me, that one. I'll mull it over. We know that Joyce knows about the murder, but I may have other things to discuss with her.
Yes. There won't be time for that once things go down. Matter of fact, I don't think there's time for it now, but...
No, that's okay. I've already discussed things in fairly lengthy detail.
If you must.
We've checked the buoy with Classia's documents. I want to hear her take on why it was empty before.
Okay, why not? Whatever goes down might also affect her. The Union is watching her closely now.
Not closely enough, you suspect, but still, good idea to visit her once more.
Okay, do you think whatever happens will affect our cryptozoologists?
You mean Morel? I don't see how cryptozoology and the murder investigation are connected. But the situation in the city will get tense for everyone.
If it gets that tense, the amateur zoologists might not be able to do their job.
How bad do you think this could get?
Well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
He smiles in the dark.
Let's try not to worry, he thinks. If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
What do you think is waiting for us there, conclude?
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
Oh lord. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to very quickly go back, speak to the zoologist, speak to Classia and see if there's anything else there because it did suggest that. Then I will come back here. Give me a minute. Right.
Hello, officer. I think I almost have it. A new trap design, that is. I know you're skeptical, but I have a good feeling about this.
I had a chat with this kid Kuno. He promised to stop stealing the locusts.
So it was just a child.
Thank you for telling us, sweetie. This is good news, right? It means we can try again.
Something is secretly gnawing at her confidence. It's not this Kuno kid, or the missing locusts. It's something else.
Yeah, you're right. We just need to restock the empty trap. Then we'll need to inspect the traps one more time. And then maybe we can.
God, Morel.
He has a 38-degree fever. His resilience has given way.
Darling, I told you to take it easy. You're getting sick.
You're right, you're right. We can come back next season, when it's warmer.
Man, I'm really feeling this is costing me time on my main investigation. It's not worth risking your health. You should call it a day and go home. I'd offer to help, but I have my own things to do. Refuse. Damn it, maybe I can still restock the trap for you. We've come too far to quit. I'm going to restock the trap. Let's do this.
We are getting really carried away with this, aren't we? Fine. It's better than having these people get pneumonia on the coast. But after this...
Really? It's too much, officer.
What Morel means is we're grateful for your help.
Here's a fresh batch of locusts. They should slide right down the funnel. And thank you again. We will definitely mention you, should this lead to a discovery. I'm not talking co-discovery, of course, but...
Okay, I'll get going. Alright, I'll go and quickly do that as well, but I'll just make it quick. Okay, so let's go and speak to Classia, and then... I guess, I think I had a red check to try with Joyce. So I'll go and give that a whirl as well. I feel like there's very little for me to be doing now, bar going to speak to Ruby, and clearly something must change. Huge vibes out of it.
Hello, officer. What brings you up here again?
I found your buoy.
Oh.
It was empty.
Did you take the documents?
He's trying to throw her off with the bluntness of the question.
No, of course not. As I said, it would have been too risky for me to use those documents anyway. My employer gave them to me. In truth, I should have destroyed them.
Perhaps the people who are after you took it.
They couldn't know where I put it. I'm absolutely sure I was not followed. And I've told no one but you. You mentioned seawater? I was worried I'd been too careless with the latch. The documents were probably just washed away.
Why do I feel like you've won here?
I really don't know, sir. I certainly don't feel like I've won. I feel like shit, sir. All the time.
But this turned out well for you. You've slipped past all suspicions.
Clearly, I haven't. We're having this conversation, aren't we? How well could it have gone, I mean?
The snow falls on her shoulders, then melts in her light blonde hair, cold and soft.
I'm stuck in Martinez just like all of us. I've been up here for I don't know how long now. I like to call this my rooftop containment facility.
What do you contain for, then?
For my sins, of course. The long-standing sins of a bad, frivolous person. For destroying my first love. For working for bad people. The list goes on and on.
This all turned out well enough for you. Somehow you managed not to become a suspect.
Did I? Why do I still feel suspicion hanging over me, then? What I managed was to get him killed. I understand that.
The lieutenant looks away, over the railing.
Something seems off with this theory I've developed about Ruby.
I don't know what to say.
It all seems fortuitous for you.
None of this is fortuitous for me.
The dried flowers on the roof, could Ruby have left them? These don't fit with anything.
The what? Oh, those ones. I don't know, sir. I said I have no idea what to make of them. Honestly, I think they're just trash. I mean, there's no reason for me to think they're somehow connected to her.
That's it then, I guess.
She nods, slowly, carefully even. There is suddenly a strange glint in her eyes. Not malicious, but dangerous.
Okay, let's return to this later. Okay, let's go and refill the traps, and then I guess we have nothing more to do, but yeah, go and see if we can find Ruby. I'm getting excited, I can't wait. Yeah, there was nothing else I wanted to say to Joyce. There's like a 3% chance in conceptualization for something that she was wanting to talk about, and I couldn't give a monkeys at the moment, to be honest.
The trap stands empty near the reeds, powdered with snow. No insect sounds or movement around. Only the reeds' apprehensive hissing.
Release the locusts. Release the locusts!
The locusts, dazed from being transported, slowly begin to acclimate to their new surroundings. They're not really going to get the chance to get comfortable here.
Good, now that's done. When do you think we will return to our impending apocalypse of a murder investigation? Don't
Now.
answer that. It was a rhetorical question.
I'm sorry, Kim. Okay, let's have a quick look. There's not really... I've done a lot. So find the Insulindian phasmid, you've restocked the trap, now report to Lena and the Whirling. Oh, God! Really? Bah! I regret taking this on as a task. Bye.
Hello, dear. It's good to see a
Yeah,
familiar
blah, blah, blah.
face.
Restock the trap.
Thank you for doing that, dear. Morel still isn't feeling well. I convinced him to stay at Gary's to get some rest. I'm afraid the cold has really gotten to him.
Only the hardcore players left, huh? It's probably for the best. It's awfully cold out there in those reeds.
I'm sorry, dear. You've had to drudge through them so many times. Such is field work. A young person's game, as they say.
So who's going to check the traps?
Morel will eventually, or we'll talk Gary into going back out, perhaps.
The lieutenant stares at his shoe, caked in mud. He doesn't say anything.
Something tells me it's up to me again. We'll take... I don't know if I really want to piss off Kim. One more onto the breach then. Take it on with undue optimism.
That really is too much, sweetie. Thank you for your dedication, but I can see you're coming down with a cough yourself.
Very strange. Why is she not letting you do this? It's like she's given up.
Lena, what's wrong? You seem different.
Different? How?
You've given up on the phasmid. You're not telling me the whole story. You've given up on the Oh, you're not telling me the whole story.
I'm not. It's not that.
What is it?
It's a strange feeling. I haven't really told this to anyone, but you are a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever wonder if some lovely story from your childhood is just that? A story?
Oh,
Or
Lena.
a dream?
Hunching her shoulders now. She seems even smaller than she is. Like a sad young girl.
Seeing the Insulindian phasmid was just a story I used to tell people. I didn't really think about whether it was real or not.
Oh, come on, but Morel told me you'd seen it. You also told me.
Morel's so proud of it. He always tells everyone.
You saying you made it up?
No, at least I don't think I did, but Morel was so eager to believe my story was evidence of the phasmid's existence, that I'm some queen of the cryptozoologists. That, and for years his belief made me believe too.
If I was Lena, I'd be having a chat with Morel over this one.
But now, we're both getting old, and he's still working himself sick out in those reeds looking for it. But what if I was just wrong? I think I was.
The lieutenant opens his notebook, but doesn't write anything.
Suggestion. Ooh, okay. Oh, shoot. Is that a red check? Oh, 42. I didn't know this was going to happen.
But it has, hasn't it? A seed can only bear what's inside.
Shit.
The seed of love is black and oily. It has a taste you're quite familiar with.
God, lying has gotten you this far. Why stop now?
Might be right, Detective. I was a paraplegic before we met. He didn't know before I came in on our first date. If I weren't the queen of the cryptozoologists.
Oh.
If I didn't tell him that story.
No, that's not the case, Lena.
She has to swallow to relax her throat. It's keeping her from talking.
He'd still be into you. That's not how these things work.
Maybe. But then why do I not dare tell him? I've wasted enough of your time with this drama. I really must stop talking about it lest I start crying and waste more of your time.
Oh.
What you have to know is the Insulindian phasmid probably does not exist. Let us fools chase our ghosts. There are a million better things to do with your life.
Are there? Some of the other things are pretty bad.
I've just realised I've still got the flashlight. To hell with this, I still believe you saw the phasmid. Thing is, you're not sure you made it up either.
I'm not sure of anything. Sometimes I still see it, you know. The real memory. Not the memory of the memory, but it's so hard to tell the two apart. Either way, I should go. Poor Morel is running a fever, and I need to get him home to Jamrock before we overstay our welcome with Gary.
Are you sure you don't need help getting to Gary's?
Oh, no, thank you, but I can get there on my own. This old thing is gas-powered. And then a taxi home. It's not so bad.
You do that, I'll check the traps one more time.
Really?
Oh, sweetie. Please don't get stuck on a dream. Take it from me and Morel.
Can I have your address just in case there's news?
Okay. It's 1113 Tabernacle Road. Jamrock, but...
Be careful out there, Lena. It's been a pleasure, ma'am. Conclude.
Likewise, sweetie. Thank you for everything. Truly. Even though it turned out to be a...
Sentence remains unfinished.
A waste of time. A fool's hope. Say her lips moving in silence. Like that, she drives off. The gas engine putters quietly as she gets to the doors, then pushes them open. Outside, it's snowing.
We should go to...
Somewhere out there, a kilometer to the southeast, a gust of wind shakes the felled building, rattling dusty windows, beckoning with strange coldness. To ask the wind once more.
Whoa, okay. So we've got to... Okay, enter the cavern below the fell building, but when you're ready, note Union and cryptozoology business might end when you do. What? The hell does that mean? Okay. Find a tape with a melody for Egghead. Oh, shoot. Oh, check the island. I'm not going to get to the island, it seems like. Get the hangman's boots. That's not going to happen. Find someone with technical expertise to contact the coalition. Okay, well, I can do both of those things in the church then, I guess. Sing karaoke, blah, 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 blah. Okay, pawn shop. I'm just getting things done. Don't worry, I'm going to go and find Ruby in this episode.
If you don't mind, please put the flashlight away.
Photonic sensitivity is not generally acknowledged by the medical establishment.
Alright, sorry about
I
that.
do appreciate it. Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Do you have any recordings of the Coldamama
The
Dakwa?
Coldamama Dakwa? Sorry, I would never have guessed that you were that interested in ultrasonic sounds. Or birds, for that matter.
I've been really into all kinds of art lately, experimenting things, you know. I have hobbies, just like a normal person. Well, I wouldn't have guessed that you know what the Coldamama Dakwa was. I've been really into all kinds of art.
What an
lately.
interesting development. Well, it's been a long while since I've gone hunting for the Coldamama Dakwa. Once knew a group of young musicians who decided they didn't want to play music anymore, and started looking for all kinds of interesting sounds instead. This was before, you know, lost touch with them after all of that.
Get to the point, do you have any recordings now? That sounds so cool.
Cool or not, one of them was obsessed with recording the Coldamama Dakwa. And he was one of those passionate people who know a lot about all kinds of strange things. So he got the rest of us to join in his search.
And did you ever find it?
We thought we did. We got together all these recordings of unusual sound patterns, compared them, cut them up and combined them into the Symphonia Coldamama Dakwa.
Can I listen to it?
Unfortunately, I don't have any recordings from my old life. None at all. But I do have a tape with some ultrasonic sounds that might be what you're looking for.
Do we really have time for this?
Yes! Spin that birdsong. Yes, absolutely necessary for my research.
This recording comes from down the coast. Wasn't looking to record anything specific. Just left a recording device there one morning. Keep in mind, I have to slow this one down enough to make sounds well over 200 kilohertz audible to the human ear. It will be strange.
Speakers begin to emit a low hum.
As the hum grows louder, modulating but always unnaturally uncomfortably low, like it's coming not from the speakers, but also from inside your chest. Breathing is becoming difficult. Not good, not good. You're about to start suffocating. You have to stop this. He nods to you, reassuringly, just as more diverse, higher-pitched sounds, some random, some appearing to form patterns, hit your eardrums. Seabirds most likely, gulls and such.
Seagulls?
And skewers, but
He raises a pointing finger and inclines his head towards the speakers, a new high-pitched shivering sound.
That's it. The signal in the noise. The thin whisper. A low range of sounds is easier to handle with a focal point, but still troubling. You are mesmerized by the sounds, but also feel nausea welling up as the motif continues, then begins to recede, dissolving in what must be the sound of water lapping at the bank.
you know, now that I've listened to it on these new speakers, it's not the Coldamama Dakwa. Wrong patterns, wrong photons. Probably some insect trying to sing higher than its predators can hear. Still, fascinating, aren't they? Early morning sounds.
Okay, something I like to sell. Do you know anything about the traffic menace on loose? You might be able to aid our
I
investigation.
doubt it.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already
No.
fit.
Okay, you know what? It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get anything from that perspective. That's fine by me. There's nothing we can do.
Yes, what is it?
What the form a theory on the 2mm hole in the... Oh god, yeah, the pale unknown. It's not a paying job, but could you help me with contacting Coalition Warship
You're
Archer?
asking me to circuit bend onto coalition radio frequencies. You want to know, is it possible? Probably. But is it a good idea? I'm not so sure. The main difficulty will be finding an antenna powerful enough to reach those frequencies. Unfortunately, you can't exactly buy mega long-wave antennas off the shelf.
She's not joking. Even the RCM has to receive special approval from the Coalition to access that kind of equipment.
The radio relay towers at Land's End, could that work?
I highly doubt it. That tower is barely able to transmit shortwave signals across the bay. To generate megalow frequencies, we're going to need a much larger antenna.
She has an idea, though. You can see the tiny signal lights firing inside her brain.
I don't see any alternative. We're just going to have to build the antenna ourselves.
What the hell? Why don't the hell we just use your AR1?
Because it's a completely different class of antenna. It would be like using a high-end racing carriage where a long-distance lorry is required. We need metal, a lot of it. The taller the structure, the better. Something that is both prominent and easily accessible. If it's near a power source, even better.
Fucking hell. Oh, conceptualization. Okay, give me a sec, I'll see what I can do. Okay, I've got one additional boost to conceptualization.
Yes. What is it?
Close your eyes. Unfold your mental map of Martinez. It's morning. You're standing on the plaza before the whirling in rags.
Turn to face the bay.
Your eye follows the tiles west. You see a bench and a few twisted, pitiful trees. Then, just water.
Turn to face the apartments.
Beyond the unkempt backyard rises a monstrous assemblage of concrete, plaster, and corrugated sheet metal.
Turn to face the roundabouts.
You turn around. The morning sun is blinding. You bring your hand to your brow, and a great shadow materializes before you. A towering beast, frozen in mid-air.
The statue of Philippe III.
The dead king and his horse. It could work. We'll need an adequate power supply and a great quantity of cable. If we connect the cables to some of the stranded lorries, we could theoretically increase the antenna's wavelength exponentially.
Whatever ambivalence she had about your project before, she's now fully engaged in solving this technical puzzle.
Let her think.
It's completely ridiculous, but I believe we could transform the entire roundabout into one solid fractal antenna.
A note of awe in her voice. She's shocked and pleased by her own audacity.
As long as it gets the job done, I'm not interested in the details. Are you sure that's legal? I feel like I'm going to need to apologize to someone. That's a very big antenna. As long as it gets the job done.
Very well. I will get straight to the point then. I have plenty of cables and amplifiers on hand. The power supply, I will secure on my own. All we require now is the radio transceiver itself.
Radio transceiver, cool, I've got this. I've seen plenty of those lying around. Where am I supposed to find a radio transceiver?
I cannot answer that for you, but I don't expect it to be that difficult. There's no shortage of radios around here. If you have real to spare, you might even be able to buy one. But it doesn't really matter where it comes from, so long as it works.
And before you ask, no, you can't have the radio from my kinema.
You know what, Kim? I'll find an even better radio on my own. Can we just use your REM prefect?
Absolutely not. My REM prefect is my livelihood. If something were to go wrong, it would be a disaster.
Do radio computers have transceivers in them?
Certainly. Though it requires a fair amount of technical finesse to remove them. Frankly, it's not worth the bother. Just find a regular radio.
I think I saw a radio in that office near the harbour.
That sounds like a perfectly adequate radio.
Okay, I'll find one of the receivers.
In the meantime, I will gather the rest of the materials. We will meet back here when you have it.
Okay, further on. Alright, I'm saying we're going to go and find Ruby in this episode, but I'm still ticking boxes. Right, did I mean this office? Is that it?
A common office radio, like any of those found in countless waiting rooms, lounges, and other semi-public spaces all over the world.
Kim, how do I get the transceiver out of
There's
this thing?
usually a little switch somewhere. Ah yes, it's the one that says release.
Flip the release switch.
The lock disengages with a nice click. You may now safely remove the transceiver unit.
Examine the transceiver.
There's nothing obviously remarkable about it. It's about the size of a common pasta box, with knobs of molded plastic. What else is there to say? If this transceiver were a person, it would be an accountant at a large logistics firm. Perfectly competent, but unexceptional.
Reliable and unassuming, my kind of transceiver.
Yes. Reliable and unassuming are definitely words I'd use to describe you.
Regardless, the transceiver appears to take your words as a compliment.
Do you think we'll actually be able to reach the coalition
You've
with this?
surprised me more than once during the course of our investigation, but I have to say it still seems like a remote scenario.
With its transceiver gone, the radio has ceased its persistent buzzing. It is as silent as a headstone.
Back to the church. I know why I need to finish all this stuff before we go and find Ruby. It's my goddamn OCD, isn't it?
Yes, what is it?
I found it.
Very good. Let's see what you have.
I found this in an office by the harbour.
Not the most advanced model, but at least everything appears to be in order. Yes, this should serve our purposes.
No further comment necessary.
I believe that means we're ready to get started. I should warn you, once we begin setting up this antenna, we'll need to see the whole process through. There won't be any second chances, any do-overs. You understand?
Fair enough.
So if there's anything you'd like to get in order before we depart, I suggest you do it now.
Oh wait, didn't you say we needed some kind of power supply?
Yes. I wasn't sure what to do about that, but then I discovered an abandoned power source down by the edge of the bay.
It's obvious. She's referring to your half-sunken Caprice 40.
Oh, you mean the motor carriage that crashed in at the bay? Well, as long as it works, I don't need to know the details.
In that case, let's move on.
What kind of stuff should I get in order?
That's up to you. At a minimum, I would make sure you are physically and mentally prepared for an intense and difficult process.
At the very least, you should make sure you're wearing a good pair of gloves.
Radio engineers typically carry overpriced solvent sprays to clean the antenna connections. But in a pinch, some common ammonia works just fine. Finally, there's the question of stimulants. Some people prefer to keep illegal amphetamines on hand to help with their work. I'm not one of them, but they do exist.
So this isn't the first time you've hung around speed freaks, is it? I try to avoid drugs. Abusing stimulants is highly irresponsible.
I don't take them because they make me nauseous. But everyone has their reasons. I don't judge.
Shit, okay, hang on, I need some time to prepare.
Fine. Return to me when you're ready to go.
What do I want first? So the interfacing, the gardening gloves, I think. Ah, shit. Okay, physical instrument. Was there not one other thing that gives me physical instrument as well? It was the vest. And then... Okay, I've spent a few points.
Very good. If you'll help me with some of this equipment then.
Okay, as I was going to say, I've spent a few points. I've changed my gear up a little bit so that at least I'm as high as I can be from a physical instrument perspective, and I've still got 2 points left. I'm good.
Like across the water lab. At least we are getting our exercise in today.
If you'll please carry that amplifier, officer, and if you'll take that spool of cable, we should be able to move it all in one trip.
Oh shit. Oh man. Wow. Holy crap. Okay.
And now if you'll just connect that here...
It's done. I believe we are ready.
Lieutenant wipes his brow.
We're ready to try at least. Please put on these headphones. There should be 2 extra sets. I've configured the channels so that only your microphone is set to broadcast, officer. We'll all be able to listen, but anyone we reach will only hear your voice.
Oh god.
You will need to transmit your connection request while I attempt to locate the warship's public frequency. You will likely encounter some interference, But it's important to keep transmitting your request until you're acknowledged. Ready?
Yes.
Good. Beginning transmission. Go ahead, officer.
Coalition Warship Archer, this is RCM Officer Firewalker, please acknowledge. Coalition Warship Archer, this is RCM Officer Tequila Sunset. This is Lieutenant Harry Dubois of the RCM, please acknowledge. Yeah, let's use my name.
Is there anybody there? The lieutenant looks up at you with a nervous glance. He is nervous for your sake, of course, but also his own. Looking at him now, with both hands on his headphones, you see very briefly what the lieutenant must have been like when he first joined the RCM. Then he turns to you. He gives you a half smile, along with an almost imperceptible nod of encouragement.
There we go, Kim.
Try again, officer.
Coalition Warship Archer. Try that in English. Coalition Warship Archer, this is Lieutenant Harry Dubois. Please acknowledge.
Perhaps you're simply imagining it, but it seems as though you're learning to pull apart the fibers of this auditory felt. You focus on one strand in particular, one that sounds very nearly human.
Nein, Liebling, das lasse ich nicht zu. Wie kannst du unseren Jungen bloß auf einen dieser Dinger nach Brede fortschicken?
Hello, Archer, do you acknowledge?
Marianne, mir erzählt, dass Oscar nicht mehr, seit er auf einem Luftschiff aus Grad zurückgekommen ist. Halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal. Aber sie hat das Gefühl, seit seiner Rückkehr mit einem Fremden zusammenzuleben.
Jesus.
You can't make out a word of this gibberish.
What's going on?
Liebling, bitte. Er ist unser einziges Kind. Er kann auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie gehen.
It's crosstalk. In all likelihood, they can't hear you. You have to keep trying until we get a signal through.
And third time's a charm.
Again?
It's gone now.
Kim, don't clog my connection.
I didn't say anything, Detective.
Someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
What the?
An uncomfortable silence falls over the connection.
It's been a long winter. Long and cold.
What, are you going to tell me you didn't say that either?
I promise you I didn't, even though it certainly sounds like me.
Gently, some team seems to wince at the sound of his own voice. What is
I
happening?
can't say with certainty, but it sounds very much like entroponetic crosstalk. It happens sometimes when sending transmissions across long stretches of pale.
Ah, yes, of course. That must be it.
Outwardly, they both exude calm, but there's something disturbing about this thought to both of them. Pale, 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 pale seems to be missing from your records.
Natürlich halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal.
Okay, so what can we do about it?
What else is there to do? Keep trying.
But someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Dubois, please acknowledge.
Archer, this is Lieutenant Dubois, can you hear me?
Liebling, bitte. Ist unser einziges Kind.
Warship Archer, please identify.
The signals are getting increasingly mixed. Plucking Archer's signal from this will be like isolating a single strand from a tangle of hair.
It's not working. The crosstalk is simply too strong. I did
can we
not
do?
expect simply locating the signal to be so difficult. We must consider several variables. Local entroponetic conditions, the sophistication of our transceiver, the quality of our connections, and the physics of our antenna itself. Our transceiver is perfectly capable, so there is no problem there. And we're also unlikely to change our local entroponetic conditions. So, the next step is to thoroughly inspect our connections.
How am I supposed to inspect the connections?
You need to climb up there and look at them for yourself.
Oh god. Her hand gestures to the colourful cables dangling from the horse's forehooves.
But you don't have the technical expertise.
Someone has been maintaining it.
No problem at all. You've already teleported up way greater heights. Something about this setup seems dimly familiar, but you'll be damned if you know what you're supposed to do about it.
Okay, let's do this. Oh god, Harry. Be careful. Oh, and I've dressed him like a pillock for climbing up there as well. Go, Harry, go.
Your gloves give you a solid grip on the metal bar. This feels pleasingly familiar. You don't exactly cut a lithesome figure, but after several moments of scrambling, you manage to hoist yourself atop the monument.
Wow. Nice one, Harry.
That performance was frankly an embarrassment.
Okay. I'm fine. Examine the connections.
The connection itself is nothing more than a little braid of exposed wire wrapped about the hoof of the horse. A copper fetter it cannot slip. The whole monument is covered in a thin but durable layer of oil and grime. It's obvious no one has cleaned it in years. The programmer mentioned ammonia, but anything alcoholic should dissolve the oils, creating a cleaner and clearer connection.
I've got the alcohol. Pour some alcohol over the connections.
It takes a few moments, but the alcohol gradually begins to break down the oils surrounding the copper wiring.
Is this really the time, Detective?
It's all right, Lieutenant. He's simply cleaning the connections.
Once the oils have been dissolved, you wipe off the connections with your sleeve and reattach the cable.
Did that help?
It seems to have made some difference, but unfortunately not enough to alter the overall situation. Unser einziges Kind. Kann auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie gehen. Short of changing the shape of the antenna, I'm not sure what else we can do from here. And the lorries are all jammed together, so that's unlikely to happen.
How do we change the shape of the antenna?
What do you mean? You adjust the antenna manually, with your hands.
What would changing the shape of the antenna do?
Ideally, narrow the receiving mode so that we can isolate the warship signal and eliminate the crosstalk. And if you don't know what you're doing, of course you could just make it worse. I'm afraid we're out of alternatives. You're just going to have to go for it.
Oh shit.
She's right. The responsibility is yours, and yours alone. There's no turning back now.
Look at Philip III.
You are face to face with Philip III. The Bronze King looks toward the west. Something about his features seems bizarrely distorted. His imperious gaze leads you naturally to his outstretched hand, which, for some reason, strikes you as sadly empty. You can't help but feel that saber you picked up might just give this older king a little more panache and better reception. Come on. Kings and sabers are so played out. There's a better way.
Wait, what's the better
way?
way?
Why not arm the good king's valiant steed instead? There seems to be just enough room between its teeth there.
That's a little too out there. Put the saber in the king's hand. That is a bit
to your
too out there.
surprise, the saber's hilt fits quite snugly in the statue's hand. The king cuts quite the triumphal figure now.
There is no way that is going to make any difference.
It's making a very slight difference. The
Hey!
field is a bit clearer than it was.
Look at the horse.
This faithful steed is in nearly as poor a condition as its rider.
Look up.
The sky is grey and overcast. Snow spirals all around you. Through the scrim, you can just make out the shadow of Coalition Warship Archer a few kilometers to the east. A few of the idle lorry drivers and strikebreakers gesture at you with their cigarettes, more out of curiosity than anything else. From the window of one of the adjacent apartment buildings, an older woman leans out, her heavy breasts sagging. She yells a single word you can't make out, and then shuts the window with a violent thunk.
83%, come on. Yes! Ha ha ha!
Your grip is firm, yet controlled. The swelling in your headset guides your hands as much as your hands guide the bronze horse head. It's almost like you're hearing through the horse itself.
That's very good. Just a bit more to the left. Nein, Liebling. Try it now.
Oops. My bad. Double click there. The signal is clear. The storm has passed. This is another voice, a live voice on the other end of this invisible bridge you've established. Coalition Warship Archer. This is Lieutenant Harry Dubois.
Lieutenant Dubois, this is Coalition Warship Archer. We are acknowledging and accepting it.
Holy shit! Holy shit! I got a hold of Coalition Warship Archer.
Ah, excellent. You are connected. Now be quick. I don't know how long I'll be able to preserve the signal.
There is so much you wish you could ask. Your efforts have bought you some time, but you can't forget what you're really here for.
Please be advised that you are speaking on a public frequency. What is your request?
Oh god, okay, who am I speaking with? What does Revachol look like from up there? What does the moral intern really want? What is real democracy coming to in Revachol? Listen, I really need to reach the Committee of La Responsibility. Who am I speaking
You
with?
are currently speaking with Coalition Warship Archer, flagship of Insurgent forces in Revachol.
Sure, but who are you? I need to know your
Our
name.
name is not important. All you need to know is that we hold the position of second signaler aboard the Archer.
You really don't have the faintest guess what her name could be. You were never very good at this sort of thing. There's something in the way she refers to herself, always with the first person plural. A deliberate blurring of the boundary between herself and the institution she represents.
What's it like being a second signaler?
It's a great honor and responsibility. In addition to monitoring public frequencies, we are tasked with maintaining some of the most sensitive communication equipment aboard the Archer.
Do you believe in the mission?
Yes, of course. There is no higher calling than serving humanity.
Okay, what is Revachol? I don't care. No, let's just get straight to it. Listen, I really need to reach the Committee of La Responsibility.
Acknowledge. To reach the committee, all you need to do is fill out the appropriate request form and submit it to the Liaison for Public Affairs. If the liaison accepts your request, you will be invited to address the committee at their next quarterly public hearing. We believe the next hearing is scheduled for July.
Actually, I was hoping you could patch me through to the committee directly.
We're afraid that is quite impossible, Lieutenant Dubois.
What do you mean?
We cannot transfer you to the committee because we are not entrusted with that responsibility. We are simply the second signaler.
Listen, I'm begging you, please just let me through. Archer, are you there?
We're here, Lieutenant. Though we have to say, this is all quite out of sequence.
It is.
This line of argument is quite pointless. You should abandon it.
What if I need to reach the committee sooner?
Not a problem. If this is a time-sensitive matter, you may file an emergency address request with the Liaison for Public Affairs. They typically respond within a few weeks.
It's not gonna happen, is it?
This isn't about
Oh my god!
Not really. It may have been at a certain point, but you've let go of that perspective. This is about your responsibility to all of Revachol.
Holy shit! Oh my god!
Now, take a deep breath. Look upward. You don't have to bear the burden alone.
Oh my goodness, listen to me. The situation in Martinez is a powder keg. If the Coalition doesn't intervene, many people will die.
What? How do you know this?
I'm uncovering things in the course of my investigation that leads me to believe we're heading to a violent confrontation between the Union and Wild Pines.
Lieutenant Dubois, this is a very serious claim. Please describe the situation as succinctly as possible. We will forward your summary to the committee.
There's papers rustling in the background. She's clearing her desk, preparing to take notes. There, you've wedged your foot in the door. Now, if you can show the Coalition how much they're needed, they'll have no choice but to intervene.
Okay, I really need to be careful here.
You have the facts. Just lay them out beneath the cold light of reason.
Okay, so the Wild Pines has recently lost control of a paramilitary death squad called the Crenel.
Please continue. We're listening.
I've also uncovered evidence the Union may also be orchestrating a takeover of a local fishing village. No, and while the Union's demands for work control of corporate boards seems completely unworkable. Okay, taking over the fishing village?
We have it. Is there anything else the committee should know?
Detective, before you answer that, I urge you to weigh your words extremely carefully.
You're not only speaking for yourself. He means to tell you you're speaking for all of the RCM. What you say now will reflect on all of your half-brothers and sisters.
Now that you mention it, I learned something very strange about the victim in my murder investigation.
We are listening. What did you learn about the victim?
He said it was communism that killed him.
Oh dear, you seem to be losing the thread.
Oh, God.
Don't listen to them. Everyone loves a good political angle.
Come again, Lieutenant Dubois. You're saying the victim was killed by communists. Was this a politically motivated homicide?
It wasn't communists, it was communism itself that killed him. Yes, that's the working hypothesis.
Acknowledged. But there's still something we don't understand. Did he speak with the victim before his death?
Let's say I have my way of knowing things.
We see.
So when do I get to talk to the committee?
Lieutenant, we must be perfectly honest with you. We cannot recommend that you address the committee. Not under the present circumstances, at least.
Why not?
Because what you're saying suggests that you are experiencing an acute psychic break with reality. You don't need to speak with the committee. You need to speak with your station Lazaret immediately. We will pass along a summary of your report, minus any speculative or paranatural elements. What the committee does from there is beyond our control.
So that's it?
That's correct. But we must say that it has been interesting to speak with you. If nothing else, the RCM is frequently a source of curiosity to those of us aboard the outer. Now, the first signaler has informed us that we must update the receiving frequency. This connection will be cleared in 4, 3...
Wait, is there no other way?
2, 1... Après le monde...
And the line goes quiet. The lieutenant gives a long sigh as he removes his headphones. He looks up at you.
I didn't know he was going to say something that stupid.
I think it's best for you to climb off the statue now, Detective. Your real work is done here.
Just give me a minute.
Sun-warmed bronze tingles beneath your fingertips and between your thighs. Your legs have grown stiff. You've been up here quite a while. You look around. The strikebreakers are still shouting their slogans and waving their hand-painted signs. Beneath you, the lieutenant and the programmer have begun disconnecting a few cables. There's really no point. You're beginning to feel like the little child who refuses to come down off the carousel.
That is the most annoying thing. I thought he was going to talk more about the issues that are coming up, the potential... I mean, he didn't even mention the fact that there was going to be a tribunal in due course. I thought that was going to be enough to push us in to speak to the committee. But decisions were made... I completely forgot Harry's an idiot sometimes. I should have taken that into consideration. Kim did warn me and I didn't listen. But anyway, you know what? We've completed that. That was one hell of a thing. Okay, climb down.
Now give me a hand with these amplifiers. Leave the cables. I don't feel like making 2 trips.
What's one more trip across the waterlock?
Sorry, Kim.
Well, this was an interesting collaboration.
We make a pretty good team, Suna.
Perhaps. You are more reliable than the riders I used to work with. Though, that is not a difficult part to clear. In any event, just leave that equipment here. I'll put it away later. If you'd like, you can take one of the extra headsets. I don't need so many spares. Now, you'll excuse me. I have to get back to my own work.
Holy crap. Okay, we've got a lot done. Alright, let's get back to the abandoned building. Right. We are going to leave Ruby to the next episode. I do apologise. I didn't think it was going to take that long with the antenna, but I am really looking forward to the next episode now. Clearly things are coming to a head. God knows how things are going to change coming forward, but there is very little else for me to do. We have accomplished a lot in this episode. I cannot wait for the next one. See ya.